The Chiefs come back and beat the Colts. Kevin and Toddy were in the group chat saying, Colts money line, Colts money line. They got this. And through 3 quarters, they had it. They were up multiple scores, but the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do. They come back fashion. Daniel Jones didn't have a bad game, but he did have the MVP Daniel Jones that we've seen all year, and neither did not Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor having his season low 58 rushing yards, 16 carries. Daniel Jones 181 yards, 19 of 31 with 2 touchdowns. The first 2-3 drives, he was on fire. And then this Spags defense that is known for making quarterbacks get a little shaky in that pocket, that's what they did. They were able to come back and figure this out. This offense for the Chiefs is really humming. We talk about this run game every week, but Kareem Hunt said, watch this. 30 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt turning back the clock, looking like Cleveland Kareem Hunt. Patrick Mahomes doing it again. 29-46, 352 yards with 1 touchdown. Wasn't able to get to the end zone, but Rashee Rice, we talked about how this offense was going to expand once they got him. For him to go for 141 receptions, 12 targets for 8 catches. Excuse me. Just going to show how important he is to this team when you still got guys like Xavier Worthy. You still got guys like Hollywood Brown. You still got guys like Travis Kelce. But the number one guy in that room is Xavier Worthy. Sauce Gardner, Travarius Ward, first game together, Kenny Moore. They're still trying to figure things out in that secondary. Once they get DeForest Buckner back, I think this Colts team is still going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. They have a great head start, I should say. Still the number one seed in the AFC, so they still have a lot of good things going for them. But the Chiefs are fighting for their lives right now. I never would have thought there would be a pocket we were talking about, are the Chiefs going to make the playoffs? So the Chiefs have a lot of good things coming, and it's going to be interesting. You know, like Toddy said, they got a quick turnaround. They play the Cowboys on Thursday in Jerry's World. So it's going to be interesting to see who's eating that turkey leg after the game. Toddy, what were your thoughts on the Chiefs coming back to beat the Colts 23-20?
I thought it was a tale of two halves. The Colts kind of came out and had a turnover and were just they were kind of gifted with really good field position early on. And I think that the Chiefs were a little bit kerfuffled, bamboozled a little bit, stunned a little bit early on. And I think they played a hell of a game plan by kind of putting Jonathan Taylor in a box and saying, hey, Daniel Jones, you're this MVP caliber player. Let's see if you can truly beat us with your arm. And I think when it came down to it, the Colts weren't really to deliver and put up touchdowns, and kind of leaving Kansas City just hanging around a little bit. And that's one thing with Patrick Mahomes you never want to do is leave him hanging around, giving them false hope that there's still a chance for them to come back and win this game. And they were up 20-9 in the third quarter. And the Chiefs figured out a way to come back and win this game. Kevin already mentioned Kareem Hunt, rushing for over 100 yards and a touchdown, was a huge part of this offense. And I want to I think the game ball should be given to Steve Spagnuolo, just based on the fact of Jonathan Taylor having an insane season and only rushing for 53 yards in a game. Hell of a game plan, and Patrick Mahomes kind of putting the team on his back at the end with the drive down to go. And not only that, they could have tied the game, but Patrick Mahomes ended up getting them in scoring position, hooking up with Xavier Worthy on that clutch pass down on the last drive when it came down to the wire. So the Chiefs are in this weird wounded animal stage that, hey, we understand what our record is and where we lie in the AFC, but we're not dead yet. So they're like, hey, all we got to do is we control our own destiny. All we got to do is just win out. When you kind of look at the AFC, there's the Jags who have the win over them. There's the Colts who they just beat. Texans are kind of frisky. Those top two teams that we talked about, the Broncos and the Patriots. So the Bills are kind of lurking around in that playoff picture as well. And I think the Chiefs believe, hey, if we get in, ain't no telling what could happen. I mean, it's not like they haven't had to go on the road before. Usually in past instances, the Chiefs always, everything came through Arrowhead. And I believe it was the year before, I think it was last year, was like one of the first years that they didn't host an AFC championship since Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback. So, I mean, when the Chiefs get in the playoffs, it's really hard to gamble against them. And I feel like now they're in that same position, like, hey, we can turn it on at any point in time. And a lot of Chiefs fans are like, well, why the fuck didn't we turn this on when the season started? Why are we doing this now? We're playing catch up. And I don't think any of us believe the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs. So it's going to be an interesting one on this Thursday night game because playoff implications are on the line, as I was mentioning earlier. The Chiefs and the Cowboys are in very similar situations in that outside kind of looking in the playoff bubble for their respective conferences. And I think a win on this particular Thursday coming up on Thanksgiving is going to determine whether they catapult themselves into the win column and be in that playoff hunt, or if they take a step back and they really don't control their own destiny. It's going to come down to, we need this, then this to happen, rather than just, hey, if we win and we take care of business, we control our own destiny. So, hell of a win by the Chiefs. They needed this one bad, real bad. If they lost this game, I think I saw a stat of their playoff probability. If they won, it was like, they were like 50, 60%. But if they would have lost, it would have been like 30, 40%. So, hey, man, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes just continues to show you why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I think if they get into a playoffs, if they're like the 7 seed against the Patriots, against a Broncos, a lot of people are going to gamble and bet on Patrick Mahomes.
Do you fall under a lot of people? Would you pick the Chiefs against teams like the Broncos?
I don't know. It really has to depend on who they would end up playing, because they could get matched up against the Colts again. And this time it would be at home. And a lot of people will be like, hey, they beat them the last time, but obviously it'd be in a different setting. The Colts would be on the road, different game plan. I don't know. It's hard to bet on Patrick Mahomes. I remember when they were going on the road, I was betting on the Chiefs, and I was winning a lot of money because they were dogs in a lot of those games on the road. And when it came down to it, Patrick Mahomes ended up going to a Super Bowl. Now, they didn't win, but I mean, that playoff run that they had was immaculate. Them being underdogs in basically almost every game they played in the AFC.